Good afternoon. It is Friday, December 4th, 2020. I think one of the most beautiful aspects of the Christmas story is the wonderful mixture of amazingly cosmic global events being miraculously transformed behind the scenes, while the biblical record denotes simple, everyday events of regular people. It's the story of God at work. The biblical record of Jesus' birth is mostly found in the first two chapters of Luke. I dare you to press pause and go read it again. Go ahead, just a few mouse clicks or tap on the touchscreen. Welcome back. We first see the massive global shifting of world powers, the fading of the Babylonian and Persian and Greek empires, and the rise of the Roman Empire with its Pax Romana, or Roman peace, allowing global commerce and travel. What does the scripture record? Hey, everybody has to be registered in their ancestral hometowns for a tax. Mary and Joseph traveled to Bethlehem for registration to pay taxes. The Bible mentions the fullness of time where the conditions are right for the promised Messiah. All of the Roman Empire has a common language used for commerce. International travel is possible because of the roads of the Roman Empire. The Jewish temple and political governments have descended into the rankest forms of corruption, and Luke describes the labors and birthing pains of Mary as the time for the baby to be born. The baby was wrapped in available rags because the parents were poor and caught far from home and their base of support. Imagine a poverty-stricken home of today with a child using a diaper made out of dad's old shirts, placed in a dresser drawer on the floor because there are no funds for a crib. God saw fit to both miraculously direct global events invisibly, but the visible events of Christmas are the simple events of a young carpenter father and an even younger virgin mother. God is setting the stage for the redemption of mankind, the response to Adam's original sin, the cosmic supernatural fight between good and evil. What is visible? A young tradesman being visited at night by an angel, told to marry his beloved, even though she's pregnant by somebody else. What is invisible? Several generations of God-chosen people ignoring and blatantly rejecting God's directions from the law and the prophets and facing judgment for it. What is visible? An obedient, faithful young Jewish girl following the commandments, faithfully attending synagogue and the sacrifices, being told she will carry the Messiah, and her believing the angelic visible. What is invisible? The massive economic upheavals brought about by wars and the changing of regimes, the vast economic engine of slavery and free men, a global empire of common currency, and the continuation of massive amounts of working poor. God always cares for the poor. But what do we see in the biblical record? A bunch of shepherds alone on a hillside at night, watching their sheep and being treated to a visitation and concert of heavenly creatures of such radiance and majesty that their lives were forever altered. In this first century world, ideas like freedom and individual choice were unheard of. The only career plans any boy could have was to follow in your father's footsteps. The government was cruel and dictatorial, directing your every movement. The world was the way it was, and change was difficult, violent, if not impossible. Yet what do we see of the nature of God? The shepherds, just having witnessed a display of heavenly power the multitudes of legionnaires could only dream about, were given a choice. And they chose to go see the newborn king. Invisible, vast oppression, but very visible personal freedom and choice. Right now, we cannot always see the invisible events God is miraculously orchestrating in our world. We will not recognize his hand until we've had the benefit of much time passing and 20/20 hindsight. What we can see are the everyday visible events of normal people caring for one another, loving one another, and making do and making the best of what we have. Neighbors sharing Christmas cookies with each other, family members sacrificing their own desires to do something special for their loved ones, churches providing gifts for the needy. What can you do to be the visible hands of an invisible God this Christmas? God bless you.